a woman will test you as a man, right? Because she will accept nothing less than the maximum potential of who you are, your full masculine energy as a man. As a guy, you could relate and be like, what the, are you serious? Like,
did you hear what I just said?
And this is where a lot of guys, this is actually where I was thinking about this episode, is because guys are like, see, women don't have empathy. Women don't care. Women don't care about a man's, we don't care. She doesn't care about my accomplishments. She's just going to nag me about the milk. She cares more about your core of who you are. And are you living to your fullest? Are you living with integrity as the masculine man that you are, and giving your gift to the world in love? Are you doing that? And you're not in that moment.
Right.
Then she's calling you out on that. So one was because when we did the topic on women don't care about a man's feelings, you know, there was, I think we explained it well, but there's still some misunderstanding about this, right? Guys,
Really?
Yeah, they're upset about, I mean, some of the clips and stuff, right?
What were they upset about? I haven't seen
Just
it.
like, I mean, they're just like, they're just not getting, I mean, they're on the bandwagon of the title, right? But they don't get the deeper thing behind it of their part in this, I suppose. Right?
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And then the second reason was I reread The Way of the Superior Man book, really good book. You'll have to read that and see what, so we can do a thing
whole
on it.
Episode.
But it's actually, you know, to give credit where credit's due, that book also, David Data, was the book that really was the thing that clicked in my mind and made me understand the masculine and feminine dynamic, because he's sort of the master of that. And it really changed. I mean, I have so many highlights in that book, right? Probably the most highlighted book that I have. So it's a book that I need to reread because I always get something good out of it. But after reading that, rereading that, I was like, oh, wow, this is something that, I mean, he addresses a lot in the book. He doesn't call it that. He doesn't say women are supposed to be difficult, but that's essentially what he's talking about is how, as a man, to deal with it. And so when I say women are supposed to be difficult, what I mean by that is that it's supposed to be hard as a man to deal with a woman in a relationship, right? And for
Great.
it's a good thing, I promise you. I'll tell you why.
I'll just chime in when I can, because I'm like,
you'll get it once they get going. You'll see where I'm going with this.
okay.
But the thing about it is that the reason why, and when I say difficult in a relationship, I mean that a woman will test you as a man, right? Because she will accept nothing less than the maximum potential of who you are, your full masculine energy as a man. And so she's seeking that because that's what makes her feel safe and secure, what she wants from you, and she wants you to be that. And so what a lot of guys are thinking that a woman's being difficult, it's a reframe, right? Instead, what she's doing is she's bringing out the best in you. She's not accepting less than what you're capable of being. And that's a good thing, not a bad thing.
Okay.
Because that's what's going to make you grow and be stronger as a man, and is going to make you live at the level that you're supposed to be living.
Okay.
Now you see where I'm going with this?
Yeah. How does a woman do that?
In a lot of different ways. One of the biggest ways is by not allowing a man. In fact, let me just give you an example that he had in the book, right? So he has got this example in the book where the guy comes home from work and he's finally achieved his goal of making $1 million. So he made $1 million today. And he comes home and he tells his wife, and he's like, I made $1 million today, right? And she's like, I asked you 3 times to get the milk on the way home, but you forgot the milk. Right? And like, you know, it's like, as a guy, you could relate and be like, what the, are you serious? Like,
did you hear what I just said?
And this is where a lot of guys, this is actually where I was thinking about this episode, is because guys are like, see, women don't have empathy. Women don't care. Women don't care about a man's, we don't care. She doesn't care about my accomplishments. She's just going to nag me about the milk.
Mm-hmm.
And as David Data would say, a lesser man would agree with that, right? It makes sense. Like, hey, I just made $1 million. You're going to complain about the milk? About like, okay, big deal. I forgot the milk. Not a big deal, right?
Mm-hmm.
But that's that. But what he's saying in the book is he says that as a man, it's not about, a woman doesn't care if you made $1 billion. She senses that you're not being true to your purpose. You're not fulfilling, you're not genuine to your word. Your integrity is lacking, right?
Because you said you were going to do it and you didn't do it.
There's a rift in the relationship. You're not caring about her, right? So it doesn't matter if you've made $1 billion. And so, but that is useful. It's good because it's making you be true. It's like making money doesn't make you a man. Having these big financial successes or all this other stuff, accomplishments, those are great. But she cares more about your core of who you are, and are you living to your fullest? Right. Are you living with integrity as the masculine man that you are, and giving your gift to the world in love? Are you doing that? And you're not in that moment,
right?
Then she's calling you out on that. And what she wants to see your response be, and he says in the book, is that you I forget what he says, but like, tackle her, like, hug her and say, oh, I'll show you the milk or whatever. And, and kiss her and spin her around.
And then go get the milk though?
Well, but spin her around, that you're not going to just succumb to that and be deflated, right? Yeah. She's kind of trying to deflate you. You just had this big accomplishment, right? And there's one part of it that is you're not living to your true core. But there's also another part of it that is like, what happens if I try to deflate him in the situation? Like, does he care so much? And this is, again, it's not my own wisdom. Some of it's mixed in, but what David Data is saying in that is he's saying, look, if she can deflate him, right, then so can the world. And also, if he cares so much, if his happiness and his mission and purpose and fulfillment in life is based on her mood, whether she's mommy, if mommy's happy, right, gives him the approval, then she senses him as weak because he needs that validation from her. But if he responds and yeah, she's upset about the milk, and he jokes around and spins her around and kisses her and gives her, responds to her kind of deflation, a negative thing with love, then she feels great because she knows she has a strong man who's really living to his real purpose and is not going to be deflated by anything in the world. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's my way of synthesizing it. But definitely the book is worth reading. But that's the core of, that's how a woman does this. Where we look at it and say, oh, a woman's being difficult. But if you understand that, you understand how useful that is as a man. Like that's your greatest ally is someone, is having a companion, a woman who will do that for you and is forcing you to play bigger, to live bigger, and not to just, because if you forgot the milk, you come home and you made $1 million, and she's like, oh, you're great, you made $1 million, you're such a big strong man, and you're happy about that. That's it's fine, but she's not really helping you to become stronger and to grow and to learn how to open your heart in love, even when you're faced with this difficult circumstance, even when someone's not patting you on the back. You know what I'm saying? It's like you're still being a little boy if you need the pat on the back. I don't know. Am I conveying it? Does it?
Yeah. I mean, it makes sense. And I think that's why too, that men think they want a woman that will just do whatever they want, but they don't. Like at their core, they don't. They do need to be challenged in order to overcome challenges. And I'm not saying pick fights just to pick fights create challenges just to create challenges. But like you said, like hold a man accountable so that he can step up and be the man that he is deep down. and not just, you know, become submissive himself or give up or whatever. Like, I know men say they want peace,
right?
But true peace, kind of like we talked about in the last episode, is working together. I feel like when you're like, as a man, your wife helps you be better,
right?
And you help her be better. That's when you achieve peace. It's not when she just shuts up and does whatever you want,
right?
Because that's, like you said, like, then how are you growing from that? How is she helping you grow in that sense if she's just doing whatever you want and says whatever you want or whatever? And again, I'm not saying to start problems just to like,
no,
you know, create some challenges or whatnot. But like you said, like, you have to prove that you're constantly strong to a woman because, like you said, there are plenty of men who go from being strong to just giving up or submitting or being like, I'm not going to deal with this anymore or whatever. And they succumb to the challenges. They do it even if a woman isn't in their lives.
Right.
They do it, oh, work is too hard, I'm not going to do that job. Or, you know, this is too difficult, I'm not going to do that. So it's not really even necessarily a woman's fault thing in my mind.
No. Yeah.
It's that the second that as a man, which I'm not a man, but from my understanding that you stop taking the challenges and you just kind of give up is when you start losing your masculinity to the level that you had when you took the challenge and you fought the fight and you won the fight. And how you feel when you, like you said, he came home, he's like, I've made $1 million. But it's like at the same time, you're making promises you can't keep. And as a woman too, I'm sure that the wife also was feeling like, oh, he cares more about the $1 million than he cares about me because I've asked him 3 times and he still showed up with nothing but, hey, I made $1 million.
Right. Yeah.
So, you know, she's going to say something like that if she asked you that many times.
Right.
And that's why I said, well, did you go get the milk? I mean, like you said about a lot of things, a lot of times women just need a hug or they need affection from their husbands, even if they're upset about something. And she probably would just forget about the milk if he responds that way. But also if she's trying to cook something and it needs milk and you were supposed to be the one to bring it home, someone's still got to go get the milk.
Yeah.
So I guess that's women are supposed to be difficult. Is I'm like, well, we still need the milk.